Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to continue on with our little crafty session and creating the shakers. That's the word I'm looking for. We're making the shakers that I'm selling in this little kit. We have made these 3 so far. We've got our sweet cupcake, we've got our medallion, and then we've got our popsicle. And then before we get going today, it's going to be, we're going to be working on the honey pot. Oh, I better get that out. Today we're going to be working on the honey pot. But before we get going, I just wanted to kind of walk through this Sweet Story version that I have here. This one is all Sweet Story from crepe paper. And just wanted to do like a little walkthrough so you can see the different papers that come in it. The phone, the honey pot that we're making today, the popsicle. This one's my favorite in this kit. I also I bought so much of that particular pattern, and then the cupcake. So that's all the Sweet Story one. And like I keep saying, it'll be available in my Etsy shop, link in bio, until it sells. So today we are making our honey pot. So I'm gonna scoochy those out of the way a little bit. I'm gonna zoom in just a touch. And they look cute though in the corner, so I'm gonna keep those up there. I use art glitter glue because I have found that the tape version or like there's like glue sticks or anything like that, they just don't do the same job that an art glitter glue kind of situation does, and they come apart after a couple years. And I have found that they've, like, there was this one time when I was crafting and I had a friend who passed away, and these sparkles just kept sprinkling down on me every once in a while, and I couldn't figure out where they came from. And finally I figured out that it was from one of those that was made. A shaker that had been made, and that the tape was all coming apart. But I was like, oh, it was Kim. She was sprinkling down some sparkles on me, and it was just kind of a cute little thing. But it also, illustrates the point that those adhesives can come undone. So first things first, I'm just going to go ahead and glue the background onto the chipboard. And I do, or not chipboard, the is called cardstock, and I do flip it over because there's like a front and a back, and the back is never as pretty, so I do flip it over. But it's not going to be like the worst thing in the world if you don't do that. That's just something I like to do so that the back has a nice finished look. And it's funny though too, because sometimes things don't line up exactly, even though it's the same die that cut both of them. But okay, whatevs. Like, isn't that funny? Like, that should just be mathematically perfect and synced up. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and put on my foam. When I first discovered paper crafting, like 10 years ago now, I saw shakers and I was like, that is what I'm about. Like, they're sparkly, lots of sequins. I'm doing that. So I got really into shakers for a while. They just are one of those things that make me happy. Put that right on the top there. Okay. And there was a kind of a funky edge on the top where the pink was showing through, but that got covered up. So yay for that. Just gonna make sure that's pressed down. And while that kind of sets up a little bit, you might have noticed these little bees and the honey catcher thingy McBobber. So I'm just gonna put those together. And I also have my honey, my word there that I'm gonna go ahead and just start putting those things together right now. Making sure you can, oh, see, I'm glad I stepped up and I'm looking because you can't see everything. All right, so I'll go ahead and start with this guy, and I'm going to put the glue onto the decorative piece. I made it yellow underneath so that it looks like it's got honey on it. This shaker is one of my favorite shakers, but it's one of the most challenging ones to make it look like it's in some kind of paper pattern situation. So a lot of these are a very toned down version, if it even has any of the paper collection on it. Everything does have, I'm pretty sure everything does, but there was one where I was like, this is very subtle. And I'm okay with that because it's bees. Okay. And I got some extra glue on there. I'm just gonna go like that, get it on my hand, rub it off. Okay, so set that aside to dry. And while that's drying, I'm gonna work on my honey. Once again, this is just put together to give that a little more body. The gold can be very thin, almost like tin foil, and it doesn't have as much of a presence. So I like to glue it onto the cardstock so it's a little more solid. I think I said in another video how I teach first and second grade this coming up year, but you know, everything has to be able to survive a bunch of 6 and 7 year olds. So yeah, I like have a tendency to really make sure things are firm. These bees have a little bit of stuff that's coming apart, and you don't have to use all this stuff. This is just, you know, cutesy stuff if you want it. Come on, fella. What's this fuzzy wing you've got here? And if you don't have one of these pokey sticks, use a toothpick. Use a turkey sewer upper thingy. That's what these are. Use just a needle. Use a crochet, you know, like a small crochet stick. Anything works to get that out. If you really want to be ambitious, you can actually buy weeders that weed it for you, but I found that they don't work super duper great. Okay, get those little scrappies out of there before they get glued onto something. And then I'm just gonna put some glue on the back of this guy. I love art glitter glue because it dries so fast. Like, it's not like when we were kids and making fake fingernails in our desks. Is that just me? I don't think it was. And you had to wait forever for that Elmer's glue to dry. Yeah, I was the student who just really struggled in school, academically and socially. That's why I'm a teacher, so that kids like me can have fun in school. Do kids like me drive me crazy? Absolutely. But I understand them. I get them. And like, I think like my crafting is a really important part of my whole life, just because it does offer me such meditative opportunities. So having my craft room be all about organizing and moving, like, that's my least favorite thing. I hate moving. My brain is not one that goes like, oh, organizing is fun. So this has not been like a glorious summer of moving to me. And so I'm really looking forward to having my peace of mind back with my space. All right, just gonna add this, and I'm gonna fill this guy really well because I don't have a picture or anything in back of there. So this is the first one that I've done so far that I've used it all. I want this to just be chock full of all that golden honey goodness. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put glue on my foam so I can get my acetate on. Yes, you need to glue down the top unless you're going to cut it off, but you don't have to. Make sure that it is sealed until you get to this bottom part, and then you do have to take your time, make sure you're all sealed up there so you don't get any escape glitters. I've also used reptile glue, which I also quite like, but I did notice that it has a tendency to be a little bit more wet, a little more dry time, but it like hangs on to stuff just like this does. All right, And I'm gonna go ahead and just carefully lay that on there. I hate how they all start jumping up to the acetate because of the static electricity. A little escaped. And just gonna make sure it's pressed down everywhere. We've got a good seal. All right, that's good. This little circle, cute little circle, popped out. No longer part of anything. No longer part of anything except a mess on the floor. Okay, I'm gonna put my decorative paper on to cover up the ugly parts. I had a friend when I was younger and we were like, what are ties about? Is it just to cover up a button? And then we just started realizing that we do not like to see buttons. We do not like to see seams. And so I always think of this as like covering up the seams. There. And of course, you know, we were like 19 years old, so we were feeling super deep as we talked about the inability to recognize the button. And if you're wondering, no, it was not under the influence of anything. I didn't do any of that stuff until I was much, much older. Okay. And that just goes right on top of the acetate. This is where you need to have your good glue, because if you don't, like, just try using Elmer's glue to attach this. Nay, it will not work. When I first started crafting, I was like, E6000 for everything. And then I realized, yeah, not so much. Put that there. Yeah, we'll put that there. Oh my gosh, that's so cute, isn't it? I had a colleague who she kept bees. And so I gave her one of these as a magnet at one point. Just a simple little thing. I thought it was very cute, appropriate. I don't know what she thought of it. She didn't give me intense feedback by any means. Okay, so, and then that goes on the top. Okay, fella, you need to be laying low there. And now I can figure out where I want to put this. Let's see, do I want to put it there or there? What do we think? I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it over the top. This like decisions, right? Boop. Okay, and I want this to be strongest on the paper, so I'm going to put a little on the paper, and then I'm going to put it all on this, just that line. Oop, I didn't need it all the way up there, so I'm going to wipe that off. It's going to be sticking off the top. And then, oh, I did need that. Oh, crafting. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, that worked out good. Okay, that goes there. Actually, I'm going to pull that off to the side a little bit more, like that. I suppose I could have put that inside there, nestled it actually amongst that stuff. And do I even want to use that? Honey, maybe I'm not going to use that today. Maybe I'll just leave that right there. Oh my gosh. I bet you anything my organizers are being delivered. So I can go get moved into my craft room even more. Do I want that there? I really like the honey. Should I put it down here? That's where I need to put it. Okay. So here's my bees. I'm gonna go ahead and get both of those on. And of course, like, this is just how I did it. You put your bees where you want to. Use your honey or don't. That's on you. It is your choice as the creator. You just have the materials. Oh my gosh. She's a schnauzer. And she's definitely schnauzing right now. All right, thank you so much for putting up with both of us, the dog and me. So I think that turned out really cute. Look how full that is. Look at all that good, delicious honey just rolling around in there. Fred? Okay, it's okay. I'm here, don't worry. Sorry about that. And I think that turned out really cute. So yeah, I think you can see why that's one of my very, 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 very favorite of all the dies that I have. Look at this cute little collection that we're building up here. All right, thank you so much. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.